Come on. There we go. So hopefully, like I said, when we were going over kind of the intros to what's important to PSAs, you realize that like the title graphic is really important. So we're going to go over some tips on how to really make it look as good as you possibly can today. And also ways to just kind of help you with your PSA. And then I have three little short 1-minute PSAs that DV Kids made last year that I thought were really good that I want to show you guys. So a little more recent examples. And then we'll kind of do the first portion of the assignment, which is to choose which group you want to make your PSA for. So I'm going to do the tips and tricks first for Premiere and then for Rush. If you can, I would really recommend editing in Premiere. If you have a computer and not a Chromebook, then I would really, really recommend that you get Premiere. So let's pull it up here like this. There we go. So here we are in Premiere. I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to call it my PSA. I'm going to put it in a new folder in my videos folder called PSA. There we go. And we're going to make that project happen. And so that's going to load up. Now, the first thing that I like to do when I'm doing anything is to do new sequence and then make sure that you're on digital SLR and 1080p 30. That way you get a blank timeline. If you don't do that and you just drop media here to create sequence, if you import, a weird picture, like let's find something on my desktop that's a weird picture, like this Mario Kart one that I was making. And I drop this on my timeline. My movie is gonna try to be like tall and skinny. It's gonna be the dimensions of the picture you import, which is obviously not correct. So I always like to just kind of do it myself and create a digital SLR 1080p 30 sequence. I find that best. And what we're going to do is I am going to right away, I am going to move my little scrubber here and get exactly to, I'm use my keys on my keyboard here to get exactly to the 1 minute mark. There we go. It actually jumps depending on your time code to 1 minute and 2 frames, but if you see you go back 1 frame, it goes to 59:29. So that's where and what I'm going to do is I am going to just make a quick little title. Just call it like placeholder. And I am going to make sure that that butts up right against the 1 minute mark. So that basically my video is playing 56, 57, 58, 59, 1 minute, and it disappears right at the 1 minute mark. So that I know that right here, nothing can go past this point. There should be nothing out to the right of this, and my whole movie needs to basically live in this space here. So from 0 seconds all the way up to 1 minute, and then the video ends. And so this is kind of like my little blockage that I know I can't go past. The next thing that I might do would be to start thinking about, right, once I've chosen the agency I want to make my PSA for, sometimes I'll make the ending graphic first. So let's say that I'm going to do my PSA for Keep America Beautiful, the kind of anti-littering group. So if I search for Keep America Beautiful logo on Google and go to images, I've got all these different logos I can choose from. Like I've got like the person putting the trash in the trash can. I got this one on red. I got these long skinny green one. There's one with the flowers, all sorts of different ones. But one thing that I always tell people when you're getting logos is to try and get the highest quality logo you can find. And one way to do that is on Google Images is to go to Tools, Size, Large. That way you're only getting really big, high quality images. Like if I choose this one here, you see it's 2700 by 1499. That's even bigger than high def. That is perfect. Let's take that one. Let's save that image and put that in my PSA folder. Videos, PSA right there. We'll call that Keep America Beautiful Big. And then just to kind of show you contrast wise, if I go to size, any size, and I take this first one that comes up here and save that image, we'll call that one Keep America Beautiful Small. Even though it's the #1 result, it's only 600 by 97. So in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty small. If we import those pictures I just downloaded from the internet into Premiere, Schwip Schwap, you'll see that the small one is only that big, right? It's very small, whereas the big one I downloaded is actually bigger than the whole image. So I'll have to shrink that down, which is fine. I can just go to the effect controls and scale it down until I get it to something that looks nice. And it's always better to take a big image and scale it down. You'll keep the quality as opposed to getting a small image and scaling it up, because as you know, that it gets kind of blurry and janky and ugly when you do that. So I really recommend that you don't get a small image, that you get a big image and then scale it down. So let's see here. I've got my Keep America Beautiful logo here. And let's see here. One of the things that we know that that ending title cards must have is they must have a call to action. So I'm going to make my PSA end up by saying visit, let's see here, .org for info on about keeping your community clean. There we go. How about that? And then we'll make it centered. Slap it up there. All right. So this is, I would suppose this title card fulfills all the requirements, right? It's got the logo of the group that I am talking about, which is a Keep America Beautiful group. It has a call to action, and it has a website, right? kaab.org. But it's pretty bland, it's pretty basic, it's pretty ugly. One of the things that I tell people we want to try and stay away from, especially if you find a logo that's on a white background, is don't drop that white square onto this black page. It looks really bad. One trick you can do to fix this is if you go and create a new, what's called a color mat, which is basically just a giant rectangle of any color you want. So if I do File, New, Color Mat, and it doesn't really matter what I name it, I'm just going to make it white. So you see here I can choose any color in the rainbow, but I'm just going to choose white. And then I'm going to call it white. And in my library now I have this big giant square of white. So if I put that at the bottom layer, there we go. That looks much better. Just need to change my text color to black now. There we go. So right away, we're on the up and up. Things are looking a little bit better here. Another way that you can make your titles look better when you're working on a computer is to think really carefully about your font choice that you are using. So if we do our keepamericabeautiful.org and we kind of go through and find a font, maybe, right, the Keep America Beautiful logo is using a sans serif font. So maybe if we find a sans serif font to kind of complement it, maybe. Let's see, sometimes that's easier said than done. There we go, that's not bad. Then if we take this black text and we use our eyedropper tool and select the green of the Keep America Beautiful, now we are getting somewhere, people. Now we are making some things happen. Let's throw a drop shadow on that. Oh yeah, looking fancy. It just looks so much better with a tiny bit of work put into it. And that's something that I would probably start off with. And now I know, hey, this is all I need to do is fill this space in here with my footage and I'm in business. And then, you know what, I could even get even fancier if I really wanted to. Like maybe if we put some transitions on these things, right? If we grab like I love a cross zoom. Let's cross zoom that and let's slide this one maybe, so we kind of have some. There we go. Hit it with some sound effects. Click, something like that. Sound of garbage going in a garbage can. That could be cool. Maybe some nature sounds could be cool. Um, that would look really, really nice. So basically, and then the other thing you can do instead of just on pure white, if you have kind of a transparent logo, you can always look for like background texture, and you can kind of just put something nice like this in the back, something, even if you need dark, just something like this to break up the pure blackness, makes a big difference. And you could always take a blue one and change it to gray, right? You guys know how to do color, uh, color effects, and you can change the color of any of these things to whatever else you need to do in Premiere. And so you could always change the color if you like the design, but hey, I need it in green, right? That's very easy to do as well. So I would say that the first thing you're going to want to do is when you get your project going is think about that final title page, and get it so that it ends right at a minute, right? Bink, right there at a minute. And now I know exactly how much time I have to play with in my movie. I like to make sure my titles are at least 5 seconds long, but the real key is, can you read everything on the screen out loud slowly in the time allotted? So if I roll this, visit kab.org for info on keeping your community clean. It's pretty good. I mean, maybe it's a little fast. Maybe add another half a second here. Something like this. Let's see. Visit kab.org for info on keeping your community clean. Keep America beautiful. There we go. That one's good. That's a good amount of time now. So it's about 7 seconds long. You don't want to inundate your audience with too much text on the back end. So let's do kind of the same thing now. If you're doing it on the phone, it's a little bit trickier, I will admit. So let's go to Rush here, and let's blow out what I was doing earlier today. So what I said to do, because let's see, let's start all the way over here. What I want to do is I want to do the same thing. I want to get my final title out there at the 1 minute mark, right? So if I add a picture and like I grabbed the Keep America Beautiful logo off of their website, I saved it to my camera roll. Well, I'm trying to drag this thing. Let's see here. So if you leave it on, excuse me, if you leave it on track 1, it kind of locks it to the 0 second mark. There's nothing you can do. I can't drag it out. It always just resnaps to 0. But if you drag it up to the second layer, that will allow you to bring it to wherever you want. So kind of slide this sucker out there to the minute, somewhere around the minute mark. Whoa, like that. And then what I did was I got my scrubber line right at the minute mark, right there. See, and it always kind of grabs on. I thought I could slide that out to a minute, but I guess not. I think, can't remember how I did it and got it right on the money before. I don't know if you need something else out there or what. See, now we're long by 3 frames. There we go. Get your mark right to a minute. Maybe if I zoom in super tight. Here we go. Then grab the end and snap it to the mark. There we go. That's the trick. So I've got my Keep America Beautiful logo. You can just kind of pinch and twist the same way you do with any pictures for these. Unfortunately, I did not find a way. I did a lot of research, and it seems a lot of editors are mad at Adobe for you can't do a color matte in Rush, so you can't really have a white background. So what I suggest is if you're good at other image altering applications like Snapchat or Instagram, or maybe you have some other kind of image making software on your phone, you might just make the whole back page in that and then just save it to your camera roll and import that into Rush. And that way, right, same idea, you kind of have this gap and okay, here I am at 0 seconds and I've got to fill up till I hit this point here. And the other thing you could do is you could search. I searched for Keep America logo beautiful on black, and I found one, right? And then I just did the same thing. I just kind of took it, come here, you, and brought it out here to the end and made it so that it snaps so that my 1 minute mark was intact. And then I got rid of, let's see here, should allow me to snap it. There we go. Let's get rid of this white one. Goodbye. And then this way, it just looks a lot better. Keep America Beautiful on black. If you accidentally rotate it, you can go to the transform options and turn the rotation back to 0. There we go. Keep it flat. And then what we'll do is we'll add some text and we'll say uh, visit kab.org, not lab, kab.org for more info, something like that. And then if we slide that up a little bit and take the KAB logo and slide it down a little bit, like that. Maybe let's make, this is pretty bland though. Same thing, I would think about adding a texture behind all this. Like, let's see here. Background, texture. Let's get this one here. Come here. Save. Back over here. Add that thing. And then bring it on out to, I wonder, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to slap it up into the higher bracket. And editing in this is no easy task, let me tell you guys. So much easier on a computer. There we go. Let's see if we can get it out here now. There we go. Right about there. And let's move this up. Move this up. Snap over there. There we go. And then let's also change the text to not be, let's make it green because their logo was green, right? So if we do, let's see here, we want to edit the graphic. Color fill, change it to kind of that greenish color, like that. There we go. That looks pretty good. Keep America beautiful. Cool. So that's a pretty good final ending page there, even though it's on a phone. Not too shabby. Didn't take me that long to build. And now I know, and it should end right at the minute mark. Might need to get in here and kind of make sure everything ends at the exact same moment. There we go. And there we go. I think that we got it. Let's see. You kind of all the Keep America Beautiful logo just needs to come out one more frame. There we go. Bink. And now I know how long I need to make my movie, how much more time I need to fill, and that's kind of a great way to start start at the end and kind of work backwards from there. And so that's kind of the first bit of advice I would have for building your logos, for building your title cards at the back end. Another trick, if you are editing on a computer, is if you go to a website called dafont.com, dafont.com, it's my favorite font website. They have all the fonts kind of broken into these different categories. So if you're looking for kind of a groovy font, right? They got all these kind of groovy fonts. If you're looking for a very pixely font, if you're looking for a Celtic font, and then within these, whenever you're in here, you can then type in like, I want Keep America Beautiful, and then it'll show me all the different fonts with my selected text, so I can quickly like go through and like find a font that I think really works. Like this one, Primary Italics, is pretty cool looking for what I'm doing. Or maybe if we go to Curly, right? Find one of these, and then you can download it, install it, and then you can choose that font in Premiere Pro, and you can have something really custom for what you're doing, and not just sticking with the basic fonts. Because one of the big things I grade in this project is your end title card, right? It's the part that you leave your audience with. Did you put time into it, or did you just choose the basic default font that Premiere gave you? Did you let it float on black, and did you just slap the first image you found, or did you kind of make it look kind of nice, right? And the same thing, even in Rush, you can probably apply transitions. Um, some transitions. You can have it wipe on, um, so that way the text, like the "Keep America Beautiful" kind of wipes on. You can do some kind of cool stuff even though it's on a phone. You just gotta take a little bit of time and be diligent with it. All right, so let's take a break from all that editing talk, and I want to show you guys a couple of the PSAs from last year that kids made that I thought were pretty good. Um, and we'll talk about them super quick, and then we'll get to our first assignment, and then we'll be done. Here's one from last year, and I had them put these what are called slates at the front of them. These are at the front of every commercial on TV. You just don't see them; they cut them off. But when you make a commercial, you put it on there. But we're gonna skip that portion. So here's their PSA from last year, and let's take a look. All right, so we have a pretty cool hook here, right? I would say this is a hook that the fact that everything is shot just kind of from, I don't know if it's the perspective of the shoes, but everything is shot with this kind of low framing and just seeing the feet of the characters. And you're kind of like, what's going on here? Why are we not seeing their face? Why is everything low? And then it's kind of paid off, right? Obviously, by having the shoes be at the graveside, and then put yourself in someone else's shoes is a pretty good tagline, pretty good call to action, um, to go with the way that the video is shot. So I think that's a pretty good creative hook, right? Remember, if you just show a kid getting bullied and at the end you say stop bullying, that's not an effective PSA. You're not doing anything kind of out of the ordinary. You're not doing anything to grab your audience's attention. Um, there's no hook or twist, right? Same thing with like Keira Knightley. If she just got home and got beat up by her boyfriend and it said, stop domestic violence, no one would have cared. But because of the way it had the twist, it works. Pretty decent final page here. It's a little bit unbalanced, but maybe make the text a little thicker. But it's got a logo, it's got a website, and it's got a call to action. So it's got all three, and it's not just floating on black. So call it a win. Let's check out this one here.
Hey man, I've been thinking about all the times that we had. About how we first met each other, teacher placed us right next to each other, and ever since then, we kicked it off pretty well. We talked a lot, especially about our problems, about school, life, relationships. You were always there, someone I can count on, you know? You became a true highlight for me. Someone I can look forward to seeing to at school. Someone that made me happy. I wish I could have invited you to a concert or maybe explore the city when we were free. I had all these plans for you. I miss you, Naomi.
All right, so pretty cool one here. I would say that the hook is probably the voiceover, right? The fact that
Your places right
um,
next to each other.
everything is kind of no natural sound and everything is kind of told in voiceover. They've got some really pretty shots, right? The flower, some kind of really creative framing with the note in the hand. Um, Good rack focus here between the two. Um, and then the ending title page here is pretty nice, right? They've got this blue gradient background, so it's not even just flat blue. It's got kind of this nice gradient on it. Let's talk. So talk is clearly the call to action here and save lives. They got the phone number and the logos of the organizations that are kind of funding this PSA. So it's got some, I think it's pretty effective. It definitely appeals to emotion. Um, it definitely makes you feel kind of sad, and hopefully that can be effective. I think the voiceovers are pretty nice, a nice hook, and a little bit of difference, right? It's not just people hanging out. And let's do one more here.
Please let me know when you've had enough. It's the last chance. Okay, corral. If you could do it all again, this time with style.
So this one has kind of, I don't even know if it's a hook or a twist, but it's the idea that, right, we saw them like eating a sandwich and drawing on this picture, right? But then it turns out that, and they kind of give hints, but the pop cuts when here at the end, when the pencil pops into the blade, or the sandwich pops into the bottle of pills. So it's kind of like, yeah, we saw them drawing and eating a sandwich, but that's not what they're doing. It's kind of this in between space, and it's very jumpy and kind of out there. Um, but it's definitely uh, impactful, I would say. And then I'd say it's more of a twist, right? To have the things kind of pop at the end. It's like, no, she wasn't just drawing; she was actually cutting herself. Um, Final graphic page is pretty nice. Got a nice texture in the background. The only thing I would say is that the website and the phone number are a little small. You might want those to be a skosh bigger, right? Those are kind of important. Learn the signs, right? That's the call to action. So that's big. Got the logo of the website, maybe a little bit bigger on the important bits of information as well. So those are some from last year that I thought were pretty good and pretty effective. Nice ending title pages on all three of them. Cool footage, great editing. Got good color effects in this one too. I really like the orange, red, and the black and white with the color grading in here. Great lens flare on this too. Look at the flare here. That is pretty baller. Um, Good act, the whole gamut. All three of them have some really creative camera work, and this one especially, the good color correction and all that good stuff. So hopefully that's a little bit more of an idea of kind of where to go, and get those kind of thoughts going in your brain. And that kind of brings us to the last portion, which is our first assignment in the string of assignments for this, is to choose the agency that you want to hire you to make a PSA for them. So if I go to teams and second period and assignments and create, ooh, come on, create an assignment. Let's see. We're going to do this one. And we're going to have it be due Monday night at midnight. Boop. Yep. All right. Assign that sucker. And then I'll show it to you and we'll walk through it together here. There it is. So basically, the first assignment is which agency are you going to choose to do a PSA for? The instructions are: choose an organization to hire you to create a PSA. Research the statistics and issues of your topic. and submit a Google Doc or Word doc telling me which agency you want to hire you, its website, and 2 statistics about your issue. And I've attached this link to Google Drive, which is kind of a giant list um, of agencies that people have used in the past. So this is not the definitive list. Like if you can't find one on here and you think you can find something different, you can go ahead and do that. But this should cover pretty much all the topics. So like if you want to do one on texting and driving, I got 2 websites that you can go to and check out about that. Do one on drunk driving, do one on teen workers, which is about like, teenagers who have jobs, what employers can and can't make you do. They used to have a video contest. I don't know if they still do. Some DV kids won it a couple years back. And that one was really cool. They used whip cuts to kind of be their hook. Suicide prevention and mental illness. That's at directingchange.org. They actually still have a contest. Stopbullying.gov. High school dropouts is attendanceworks.org. Anti-trash, keep KAB for keepamericabeautiful.org. Drug for youth is redribbon.org. Cyberbullying, cyberbullyhelp.com. Childhood obesity is americanobesityfdn.org. Hungry kids, nokidhungry.org. Steroidabuse.com. Distracted walking, Scholastic Corporation had a contest last year. Hazardous chemical plants, someone showed that to me. Population control, World of 7 Billion has a number of different contests every year. I realize I don't have one on here for like domestic violence, don't have one on here for human trafficking. If those are issues that you think you might want to try and tackle, then just find an appropriate agency and website and put that in your assignment. And then I'll say, hey, yeah, that works. Or I'll say, that might not work so good. Maybe find something different. But basically, that's kind of where we're at. The first step is to choose the topic that we want to try and create a PSA on. And then next week, we'll have class time devoted to creating a 1-page screenplay. And then class time devoted to creating a storyboard. The week after that, we'll have class time devoted to shooting it, and then we'll have class time devoted to editing it, and then it'll be done, and we'll watch them. And so we're kind of into that phase of class now where we're hopefully just going to be creating more and more, and the more you work on it, the better your skills get. And then we'll also do more little projects where I teach you skills, like hopefully we can try and do split screens. Gonna try and do green screens. I don't know if that one's gonna work so well. Definitely gonna do some compositing stuff coming up. But this one we're gonna do one of the things you're gonna have to have. Obviously, we're working a lot on our title design and graphic design, but then I'm also gonna we're also going to require color grading in this one. Is usually how I do it at school. This is the project where I say you got to do some color grading in it to get full points. So that's all I have for you guys today. I don't have an exit ticket. I'm about 4 minutes early. So if you guys have any questions about what agency, or about anything about, choosing a group to do a PSA for, let me know. But basically your assignment for the weekend, for Monday, I should say, for the asynchronous time on Monday, is to choose which agency you want to do a PSA for. And then we will begin work on pre-production next week, and I'll give you guys some more tips and help and start getting creative with it. All right. So that's all I got for you guys. If you have no questions, you can take off, and I will see you guys Tuesday.
See ya.
Take it easy.
Bye, Mr. Roll.
Mr. O,
Mhm.
question in chat.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Would a website for COVID safety work? Suppose so. Let's see here. What did you find a website, or are you just kind of thinking would it work at all?
Yeah, I was just wondering if it like work at all, or if like you would accept like the .gov website for COVID guidelines.
Let's take a look here. There are a lot of when I Google COVID PSA, there are a lot of examples. Mask up. This one says, let's see. Yep, look at that. Even though it's on the web, it's exactly 30 seconds. See, it's like I told you guys. Yeah, this will work. Let's do it. Let's see this mask up one. Who's this for? Who's AMA? The American Medical Association. Okay, okay. Let's see if we go here. And then boom. Here we go. Let's see what this says. The trick is just like kind of finding the best organization to do it for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Website. I mean, they definitely have a nice PSA. This mask up PSA. I'll throw your way right quick here.
All right. Thanks.
And then you know, that might and we just got to try and find a good website to direct people to. You know what I mean? Who would be the ones funding this PSA, and what would they want you to do? All right.
Yeah, I was definitely like looking into like incorporating like the mask, you know, keep your mask on stuff inside of it.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Should I not worry? Like, I mean, I think literally there's PSAs on like everything you put. There's a lot of PSAs on everything.
Mhm.
But like, should I not worry too hard? Like, I want to try to make it unique and have a twist, but should I not worry like extremely that there's a lot of one thing? So I think due to that, I don't want to do bullying. I think bullying is better when you have multiple actors. But I think I'm like choosing between the lens of like the drug-free youth or cyberbullying.
Okay.
I feel like cyberbullying might be really cool just because of the COVID situations. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, don't worry about like if you think one is like overdone. Like everyone brings their own spin on the video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, if you can't find one that speaks to you in the list, you can research like Noah did. Like, what if I do COVID? And like I realized I don't have domestic violence. I don't have human trafficking on the list. You know, I've never had anyone do those. So I haven't, or maybe I haven't. I just haven't added them to the list because I'm forgetful and whatever. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Will do.
Bye.
Mr. Rolf,
Mm-hmm.
when you're saying the two statistics of the issue for the PSA, what are you referring to?
So like what PSA are you thinking? Do you have an idea of which one you want to do?
I was debating between like a COVID one or a texting and driving one.
Okay, so like let's just take texting and driving. Like how many texting and driving accidents are there in a year? How many teenagers die every year from texting and driving? Right? I'm sure we can find, you know, because to make a PSA on a topic, you kind of have to understand the topic, right? You can't go in blind. You have to know the numbers, you have to know the causes, the facts, the figures. So, you know, do a tiny bit of research, do 5 minutes of research on texting and driving, and then show me what you learned, right? Oh, texting and driving mostly affects people between 18 and 25. It causes X amount of accidents a year. There we go. Beautiful. You know what I mean? Or if it's COVID, you know, how many cases have there been? Who gets affected the most? Like, what are you going to, you know, what's your PSA going to be about? You know, masks can stop the spread by X%. I don't know, you know,
All right.
do a tiny bit of research on whatever topic you choose just to, you know, what are the questions that you would have about that topic and show me the answers. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.